Raw materials. Raw materials are materials provided by the exploitation of natural resources and intended for subsequent processing to produce goods. Raw materials are all those materials that we obtain from the exploitation of natural resources and are subsequently used for the production of a wide range of goods through industrial processing and manufacturing. Raw materials are agricultural, wood, natural fibers, vegetable oils, etc., and mining, iron, sulfur, copper, lead, coal, oil, fuel gas. Raw materials are essential to our society and play a key role in many areas. We need raw materials because they are the basis for the production of consumer goods, infrastructure and services that we use on a daily basis. They are the building blocks of many of the products we use, such as metals for building cars, textiles for making clothes and fossil fuels for running power plants. Raw materials are extracted from nature and can include renewable resources, such as wood and water, or non-renewable resources, such as oil and minerals. These natural resources provide the raw materials needed for the production of goods and services, ensuring the survival and development of modern societies. In addition, raw materials are also fundamental to the global economy. Their availability and price influence economic activity and international trade. Countries rich in raw materials often have a competitive advantage in the global market and can benefit economically from their extraction and sale. The raw material cycle, from extraction to final processing, represents the path that a raw material follows from the moment it is extracted from nature until it is transformed into a finished product. This cycle comprises several crucial stages that transform natural resources into usable goods. The first stage of the cycle is the extraction of raw materials. This may include extracting minerals from mines, harvesting timber from forests, extracting oil or natural gas from underground deposits, and so on. Extraction can be a complex process that requires specialized equipment and can involve significant environmental impacts. Once extracted, raw materials move on to the next stage, transport. Resources have to be moved from extraction areas to processing sites. This may require transport by land, sea or air, depending on the distance and characteristics of the material. Transport can lead to greenhouse gas emissions, and measures may need to be taken to reduce the environmental impact, such as optimizing routes or using more energy-efficient means of transport. After transport, raw materials reach the processing stage. This is the process in which resources are processed into finished products. Processing can involve several activities, such as smelting ores to obtain metals, weaving threads to create textiles, or refining oil to produce fuels and chemicals. This stage requires specific plant and machinery and may generate a number of byproducts or waste, which must be managed appropriately to avoid negative environmental impacts. Finally, the finished products are distributed and utilized. This may include retail or commercial distribution of the finished products to consumers or use in specific sectors, such as construction, automotive, or agriculture. During this phase, it is important to consider resource efficiency, product durability, and the management of waste generated during use. The raw material cycle does not end with the use of finished products. When products reach the end of their life cycle, they must be disposed of or recycled appropriately to reduce their environmental impact. Recycling of raw materials allows existing resources to be recovered and reused, reducing the need to extract new raw materials from nature. In conclusion, the raw material cycle represents the path that natural resources follow from their extraction to final processing and use. It is crucial to adopt sustainable practices along the entire route. However, raw materials have a significant impact on the environment due to the extraction, production, and disposal process associated with their use. This impact can manifest itself in several ways. Firstly, the extraction of raw materials often involves the destruction of natural habitats and the alteration of ecosystems. Deforestation for timber extraction, mining that causes loss of biodiversity and water pollution, and the extraction of fossil fuels that contributes to increased greenhouse gas emissions, are just a few examples of how the extraction of raw materials can harm the environment. The process of transforming raw materials into finished products can lead to the emission of harmful substances into the air, water, and soil. Chemical industries, for example, may release toxic substances and pollutants during the production of chemicals, plastics, and synthetic textiles. This can contribute to air pollution and the accumulation of toxic waste, with negative consequences on human health and the surrounding ecosystem. Finally, The consumption and disposal of raw materials can generate large amounts of waste. The production and consumption of everyday items, such as electronics, packaging and textiles, often lead to the generation of non-biodegradable waste, which can take years or even centuries to degrade. To mitigate the environmental impact of raw materials, it is crucial to adopt sustainable approaches throughout the entire supply chain. This includes promoting responsible extraction, adopting clean technologies for raw material processing, recycling and rethinking production and consumption patterns. Furthermore, it is essential to encourage innovation and the search for more sustainable alternatives to non-renewable raw materials. In conclusion, the use of raw materials has a significant impact on the environment, ranging from extraction to use and disposal. It is crucial to take sustainable and responsible measures to reduce the negative impact on our planet, preserving natural resources for future generations. Recycling of raw materials is a key process to reduce the environmental impact of human activities. Recycling allows existing resources to be recovered, reducing the need to extract new raw materials from nature and reducing the amount of waste that ends up in landfills. Recycling of raw materials requires collecting and separating the materials to be recycled, transporting them to specialized plants and transforming them into new products. In some cases, such as paper or glass recycling, the process can be relatively simple. In other cases, such as plastic or metal recycling, more sophisticated equipment and processes may be required. Recycling raw materials has several advantages. Firstly, it reduces pressure on the environment, as it reduces the amount of waste going to landfill and reduces the need to extract new natural resources. In addition, recycling raw materials can result in significant energy savings compared to the production of new materials. Finally, raw material recycling can be a source of new jobs in the recycling sector and in industries using recycled materials. However, the recycling of raw materials also presents some challenges. Firstly, the collection and separation of materials can be costly and complex, especially in dense urban areas or in developing countries. Secondly, recyclable materials must be clean and free of contaminants, otherwise their value may be compromised. Finally, some materials may be difficult to recycle, such as certain types of plastics or composite materials. In conclusion, recycling of raw materials is a key strategy to reduce the environmental impact of human activities and promote sustainable management of natural resources. Although it presents some challenges, recycling of raw materials offers numerous environmental and economic benefits.
Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. I've been losing sleep.